Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the first ever Front Page Esports, a weekly web series for CitrusTV Entertainment's Unpeeled. I'm your host, Frank Salerno. I'm joined by my co-host, Rob Flaks. Rob, I'm really excited to get esports into Citrus and get all the viewers this information.
Me too, man. This is something I'm really passionate about. This is a sport that I think anybody can get into, a field of entertainment that really the barrier to entry has never been lower. If you're trying to dip your feet into esports, now is the time to do it, and this is the show to help you on that path. Me and Frank, how it's going to work is we're going to have topics that we see every week in the world of esports that we think people need to know and are going to get more people into the sport. So we're going to be bringing you those topics. Those are going to be our two major topics, and maybe sometimes we disagree on those. And then there's going to be little small headlines, little nuggets of information, little bits of gold that spring up during the week, and we're going to bring you those as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that happens in esports throughout a week, from the business side, from the roster side, but we're going to give you the most important information, hence the front page, the best headlines that we feel are the most important things you need to know if you want to dip your toes into the competitive gaming world. Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into esports, what games you played growing up.
Absolutely. I mean, I played a lot of League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But these days, I'm a little too busy and a little too not so great with my reflexes to actually be playing it. But watching it, now is a good time to be watching it. So, and with everyone stuck at home, there's tournaments still going on. Streamers are hitting record viewers. So if you're just in terms of content that's around, now's the best time to get into it.
Yeah, it was similar for me, except with Call of Duty. That was my first game, and I'll be talking about Call of Duty in a little bit. But that was the first game that opened my eyes to competitive gaming and esports in general. From there, CSGO, Overwatch, Fortnite, and other games. I've dipped my toes in the water here and there. But I just fell in love with the passionate community. And what esports brings to the table is really unique. And it's something that I love and I've been following as I've grown up. So I'm really excited, and I know Rob is as well, to bring this to you guys, bring this to Citrus TV, and get our coverage going with esports, because I feel like everyone really deserves their chance to enjoy it because it's a lot of fun. Rob, one of the biggest things in esports right now, man, is Valorant. And I know you've spent some time on the game. Tell us a little bit about Valorant and what it is.
Absolutely. I've spent a fair amount of time with it. So Valorant is sort of a team-based shooter where a team of 5-on-5 has to contest an objective, and it's a really slow-paced game. And you know what? That's actually really rewarding. Games like Call of Duty, they're great. They're running around. They're fast-paced. This game, it's a slower, more deliberate pace with a lot of emphasis on precision shots and really being able to know the map and know the movement to the point where you can actually hear other people's footsteps in the game too. So honestly, the game is breaking viewership records, breaking player counts, and it's only still in beta. This is actually because when they were streaming it on Twitch, you couldn't even get into the beta unless you watched enough of the Twitch stream. So they were just really trying to get that guerrilla marketing going, create that scarcity, and you know what? It worked in a time where there's no shortage of games to be playing. This game is shooting right up to the charts. And listen, now TSM, an established brand, is actually taking players from the main competitor to this game, Counter-Strike, putting them together. They're already drafting esports. This comes to us from Riot Games. They have, of course, experience with League of Legends, the giant esports scene behind that. This is a company that knows how to build an esports scene, and man, they're planning to do that with Valorant, and you can tell just from every step of it.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of building the esports scene early, and there was games still in beta, and they're already building a lot up. Teams are jumping on board. Major players are making this switch over. My one concern with Valorant at the moment is that it obviously is kind of being coined as like an Overwatch meets CSGO, as you mentioned. But one of the little issues that I might find with Valorant, just from a viewership standpoint, watching a lot of it through my favorite Twitch streamers, is that it kind of takes from Overwatch rather than CSGO in terms of its simplicity and watching it. It's kind of hard to understand what's going on unless you get hands-on with the game, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel as a player and a watcher. I feel like it's hard from a viewership standpoint. The barrier of entry, as they like to call it, is a little...
Absolutely. There's definitely a learning curve. It's definitely a game to watch if you're trying to learn the game, and it's a little difficult to just watch having no interest in getting good at the game yourself and just as a pure sport. But, of course, that comes with time, and if you invest a little bit of effort, I think you can kind of get over that hump.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with Valorant. There's a lot of time for that game to grow as an esport and just as a casual game in general. But a game that's kind of established at this point, but now in its first year of its official competitive league, the Call of Duty League is in the first year of its franchise model, which is super easy for people to understand if you're a traditional sports fan. It's a city or a state and then a mascot. Like, for example, the Chicago Huntsmen, who won their second home series this weekend, the Seattle Surge home series. People will know the Huntsmen from their players Scumpy and Formal, formerly of Optic Gaming, one of the most popular gaming brands on YouTube, Rob. Everyone watched Optic growing up, FaZe, Envy. They're also in this league underneath different brands. Call of Duty is growing a lot right now. They just announced a $4.6 million prize pool for their playoff in August, with $2 million going to first place alone, which is an historic number for the game. It's the biggest individual prize pool in the history of Call of Duty. And the league is riding the wave also of Warzone, the competitive battle royale mode. And they just had a weekend where all the Call of Duty League teams had sent 4 players in to a Warzone match and competed for a $10,000 prize. Nice little side tournament. That was a lot of fun. The Paris Legion took the win there. The league is in an awesome spot, man, and I love Call of Duty Esports. For someone like you who is more on the outside of the Call of Duty scene than maybe I was growing up, where have you seen Call of Duty come from, and how do you think it's doing now?
I mean, I think it's definitely the most competitive it's been. Personally, I just have an issue with the aim assist in terms of the input for the game, as well as having played the latest Call of Duty. There's just the hitboxes are just a little too imprecise for my liking for it to become fully as competitive, something like Counter-Strike. But the amount of money going into it, the amount of sponsors, and the amount of mainstream attention that it's been getting actual TV viewership, which in terms of esports is kind of a coveted position to be in. You can't deny the attention, you can't deny the popularity. So for that reason, listen, it's as legitimate as anything else in this field.
I mean, there was a lot of money put into this Call of Duty League. The buy-in was reportedly like $25 million per team. Major investments coming in from like traditional sports owners, like the Mets owners and the LA Rams owner. So yeah, Call of Duty League is a very expensive league, but it's a really popular league at this moment, and it's growing a lot. So excited to see where that league continues to grow. Rob, tell us what's been going on in Fortnite. So something interesting has been going on.
Absolutely. So listen, Fortnite is kind of looking at these social distancing rules we're all abiding by and figured out kind of a nice loophole. So if you have some sort of property, like for example, a movie trailer you're trying to debut or just a big public announcement you want to make in a crowd, listen, Fortnite might be the venue that you've been looking for. The brand new Christopher Nolan movie Tenet actually premiered in it. Because listen, guys, there's no Comic-Con, there's no Hall H, there's no big giant crowd for you to show off your brand new intellectual property. Yeah, but you got exactly. So listen, you got everybody going in, you got the voice chat, and you got that crowd reaction, you know, just that famous video of everybody at the bar partying at the big screen. That's exactly it. Listen, honestly, fine. If drive-in movie theaters are going to come back, then sure, let's have Fortnite premieres. Way more fun for me, at least, to do it that way than actually play Fortnite, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. You know, I was a Fortnite player, really like dedicated Fortnite player for about a year when it was in its prime, season 3, season 4. And I remember like going to like the Travis Scott concert, which was recently. I went on and I joined in the Marshmello concert, the Star Wars live event I saw on Twitch. They love these live events. They're one of the best. Epic Games is one of the best in the business when it comes to those live events. I think they might be one of the only companies that's actually doing it to this extreme of a level, and they're succeeding exceptionally well every time. I'm excited I'm going to go on the game and watch the Nolan movie when they play a Nolan movie this summer. They said they're going to do that as well. I'm excited to see where Fortnite continues to go. I mean, obviously there's some issues with like the player base right now. Not very happy with some of the changes, but trying to draw people in from pop culture. So it's cool. It's interesting to see.
Absolutely, and that's in terms of getting a game to a wider audience. I mean, the wider audience is what likes these other entertainment properties. Building those bridges, getting that entertainment to kind of have that synergy with it, that's how you build an audience. Listen, hats off to them. It's a genius move.
Yeah. Another league, which is growing. We talked about barrier to entry before. This league probably has no barrier of entry because it's basketball. And the NBA 2K League just had its first individual player signed to an endorsement deal. Adil Nazir, who goes by the gamer tag Mama I'm That Man. And I'll be honest, if the NBA 2K League has anything, it's the best gamer tags in all of competitive gaming. He plays for the Blazer 5 Gaming. He was the MVP of Season 2. They're now in Season 3. He signed with Point 3, which is a basketball apparel company that they're known for patented sweat-absorbing technology. They like shirts and shorts that when you sweat, I believe that when you like rub your hands on them, they're supposed to like dry off your clothes easier, or dry off your hands, should I say, easier, so you can grip your controller better. It's interesting. We'll see how it goes, but it's a major step in the right direction.
Absolutely. I mean, being able to land those types of partnerships, get the sponsorship to prove that your game has money and has viewers with money that they can then sell and leverage to other people. That's how you get the longevity. As much as we love the actual video game part and the playing and the skill, there's a really important back end in terms of the business and marketing of these brands. And listen, that's how your favorite sports and how your favorite entertainment gets to stick around. So it's important that they have integrations like this because that shows they have a future and they're going to stay around.
All right, that's it for episode 1 of Front Page Esports. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on CitrusTV on Twitter and CitrusTV Entertainment on Instagram. Rob?
And guys, I just want to thank everyone from the Citrus TV staff that helped put this together and really had faith in us. And listen, guys, this is something we want to continue to do, and we're going to bring that best content to you. So thank you for tuning in, and we're coming back up.